Through all the technical difficulties, we streaming live, baby, all around the world. So you're reporting from Brazil over there, huh? Oh, can you hear me?
Okay, hi, welcome. Thank you for waiting to be on our show. I am so excited. I have Gingerbread here coming from Atlanta right now. You're in Atlanta, right? Yes.
ATL.
And I'm coming to you all the way from Brazil, from Salvador. As you come in, go ahead and say hello. I see some people are on here. Ginger, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Greetings, everyone. I go by Gingerbread. Got the name from music. Starting in the music industry, 23 years old, signed my first contract. After going through a whirlwind of that and facing just having to redirect my life, I got into marketing, and that worked out super cool. But my health went kind of crazy after just doing so much in life, and was diagnosed with lupus that hit me
Wow.
into the healing journey. So, I mean, that's how I got on the topics of answering the call and following our healing journey and healing path. Just going through so much, suppressing, keeping going, doing what I had to do to survive, and all of that made me pop one day. And
Mhm.
um, yeah, and that's where my love for the healing arts came in. So
Oh, I love that story. I didn't know that you had lupus. Okay, so I see more people coming on. Go ahead and just say hi. Write in the comments. Let us know that you're here. And
hey,
we I
everybody.
really like this. We really like this to be just community. You guys asking questions, letting us know. Share with us how if you had a call, if you answered your call. And thank you for sharing that story because you had lupus. And do you feel like, from answering your call and doing this spiritual journey, do you feel like, hey, Mimi, do you feel like you cured yourself of lupus, or do you feel like you just managed the symptoms coming on this spiritual journey?
Well, I know for a fact that I managed the symptoms. I have
Okay.
not really tapped back in with the doctor since. I want to go back and retest my blood and see where I'm at with it. However, I have just gained some new knowledge about detoxing and cleansing that I want to do once again first, because I did switch my
Mhm.
diet, but I didn't do the thorough cleansing with this new information that we're sharing in our community now. So, yeah, I just
Mhm.
want to, follow all the steps. I already feel good in my body. I feel energized and vibrant. I don't feel the pain that I used to feel. I used to have a
Oh wow.
terrible pain in my wrist.
Mhm.
And one quick story, which I'm sure we'll get into when we talk about like sound and music, but the tuning fork, I just played the tuning fork, placed it on my wrist, and the pain never came back ever
Right.
since. So just learning the healing modalities has just been amazing. But yeah.
That's so beautiful. And y'all, not only does she do music, she does amazing music. Ginger and I met, and let me introduce myself too for people
Yes.
who may be on here and don't know me. I see more people coming on. Say hello. Let us know that you are here. This is my second live, so I'm excited. Thank you for your support. This is my second live for this year. I restarted it. I had stopped doing my lives during COVID, so I'm getting back to it. Um, so for those of you who don't know Ginger, she also she's an amazing chef. She cooks raw food, vegan food, amazing food. She's a music artist. So we met when I was leading a workshop in Atlanta that you participated in. I did a cacao ceremony there, rebirthing. Hopefully you guys can hear us. Our internet is a little spotty, but I'm going to keep talking. So a nice shot of ginger. And I've been doing my ginger shots, yes. And so we met at that retreat when I was working doing the cacao ceremonies, and we've kept in touch. And so she's a beautiful soul, an amazing soul. And so, you talking about changing your diet, that has been okay. So let me step back. Let me introduce myself. I'm Prandara Prim, and I have doctor in front of my name because I do have a doctor of divinity. I am an ordained minister. So I can marry people. I can marry y'all.
Okay.
um, I'm also my background. I got my master's in psychology. I had a private practice in Maryland before I left and moved to Brazil. Now I do my practice different. So I call myself a holistic tantric shamanic tantric therapist because I still do my therapy. I incorporate the shamanism that I learned and studied living in Brazil and backpacking through South America for a year prior to living in Brazil, and my experience with tantra, learning tantra. So those of you who don't know, I ended up living for 2 years in a tantra commune, learning tantric massage, tantric meditation, tantric breath work, tantra yoga, and I received the Sanskrit name Prandara Prim during my initiation. And Prandara Prim means to go with the flow of love and life. So greetings. I know there's more people on here. Go ahead and say hello. Let us know you're here. Now, those of you who are on, if you felt a call, a spiritual call, type in a chat. How did you know that you had a spiritual call? And what are you doing to answer that call? So some of the things are you might see, oh, we got another Renee in the house.
Whoop,
Hey,
whoop.
Renee, Renee. And then we got a
Yeah.
Carolyn Renee. Look at that. Renee means reborn.
Okay.
So that is my birth given name, Renee. And I love both of the names because Renee's reborn and find our premise to go with the flow of love and life. So some of the signs that you might see is having an illness like lupus or something like that, and then deciding to do something different. Maybe you might be constantly seeing angel numbers like 333, 444 all over, and you're like, there's a reason. Maybe everywhere you go, you keep
Yeah.
hearing about ayahuasca, and you're like, now you're feeling called to do it. So those are some signs.
Yes.
So you said I got dragged. That was the beginning of my calling. What do you mean you got dragged? Can you go ahead and explain more of that? Um, Go ahead, Ginger. You look like you want to say something.
Oh no, I was just like, it's you're just resonating with me right now because when I was doing music, a pastor came up to me and he's like, "You're not a rapper, you're a teacher, and you're a part of Erica Badu's spiritual family."
Mhm.
And I was like, "What?" So that was like the
I
first
can
kind
see
of
that.
call. It was like the first hearing of the call. Then when Nipsey Hussle passed, and him and Lauren London were doing an interview I was watching, she's like, "What book am I reading?" And he was like, "I don't know what it's called, but I know it's by Queen Afua." And just
Mm,
hearing the name,
yes.
bells rang in my head instantly. Like, so that's the call right there. When you hear
Yeah.
something and you want to go research it, or you keep hearing, like you said, you keep hearing ayahuasca, or you keep hearing
Mhm.
certain things that you just feel drawn to for some reason you can't explain.
Yeah.
And normally, when you just jump right into that that feeling of like attraction, I guess, is that what it would
Mhm.
be?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that pull, like, dang, that's pulling me, and you follow it. It's like, whoa. So
Mm,
I've got the book Sacred Woman, but
yes.
I couldn't understand it though. It was like foreign language to me. So I had to learn so much on the
Mhm.
spiritual side to even be more receptive to it. So it's like thin layers of just learning and opening up that, you know,
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
pulling you in to the call.
And sometimes people might think you're crazy, but it's like, because, yeah, because it's like, what is going on? What is this person doing? What is she doing? And for me, it was like, I had a private practice. I was pretty stable. I bought my first home at like 20 something years old in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I had a home, had my private practice. And the crazy thing is, one of my clients, to this day, she's always like, I wish I would have never told you about this book because she made me, this was my calling. So in my practice, I had a client and she started telling me about the book Eat, Pray, Love. And she was like, I so resonate with the character in this book, Eat, Pray, Love. So knowing me, my curiosity, and really wanting to do the most to help my clients, I was like, let me get this book so I can read it, so I can understand my client better and what why she resonates with this book. Y'all, I read that book, resonated with me, and I was like, I'm gonna go do my Eat, Pray, Love journey. So I was like, I told her, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do my Eat, Pray, Love journey. She's like, I should have never told you about that book. I'm like, I'm so sorry. But I felt the
Why was
call. And I literally shut down my practice, right? Shut down my practice and left. And so for me, it was like, I was like, I got to do this. Went to India by myself, never haven't gone to India. Went there by myself, stayed in ashrams. And so my plan was to stay 3 months in India and then 9 months in Argentina because I wanted to work on my Spanish because in my office I had a lot of Spanish clients, or let me say Latino because they're not from Spain, but I couldn't, really translate and they were translating with each other. And I'm like, you could feel something like they're not really saying what I'm saying. They're saying different stuff, and I'm missing a whole lot. And so I did the 3 months in India, really studying Ayurveda healing, learning meditation, yoga, and just really like eating healthy vegetarian food. Then I went to Argentina. I stayed in the Hare Krishna yoga farms there, still doing yoga, you know. And then I was supposed to stay in Argentina for 9 months, but because of visa stuff, I had to do visa runs, and I ended up doing Peru, then Ecuador, then Colombia, then Brazil. But when I went to Peru, I ended up staying with the family, and then the family was like, "Let's go to Cusco." So they took me to Cusco, paid for me and everything. Went to Cusco, and then that's when I started learning about ayahuasca and San Pedro, also known as Wachuma. And because they were talking about how the indigenous, the shamans, the leaders would drink this ayahuasca or wachuma to know how to guide the tribe, right? To know what's happening, to get messages from above, from the universe. And I was like, I want to do that. Like I just felt called to it. And so now I'm one who's never done drugs, like never done drugs. And to this day, I don't do drugs, right? Like that's, I've always into psychotherapy and just kind of working with people who had addictions to drug, alcohol. So I never done drugs, right? Now I drank. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I researched it. I researched the heck out of it. And even after researching, I was like, I want to do this. And so in Peru, I had my very first experience of doing the Wachuma. Got more people coming on. I'm excited. Y'all drop a hi. Let us know who's in the house. Let us know who's here. I see a good amount of folks on. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for watching. Ask any questions. And so that's been my journey. Then after Peru, I went to Ecuador. It came to me again. Ayahuasca, San Pedro. I ended up doing ayahuasca with indigenous people in the Amazon, in Ecuador and Colombia, then Brazil. So I'm going to stop at that because this story could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so deep and so many layers to the call, It
yeah,
really is.
so deep
And
and so many
we
layers.
have to hold space too, though, to learn, because that's one of
Yeah,
the first things I learned in healing. The healing and the medicine is in the circle. So when
yeah,
we actually hold space and open spaces like this to actually talk about these things and get into it, then it just starts activating different things for everybody.
yeah,
We all start connecting and putting pieces together. So yeah,
right.
it's beautiful. So thank you for sharing,
You're
because
welcome.
your energy really inspired me. I'll tell you, it was actually my first retreat.
Oh,
And
really?
yes, and I had to walk my dog, and I was a little bit behind. So I was kind of working behind the scenes with Hadia a little bit and came a little bit late. So I was able to witness it versus being immersed in the experience.
Yeah.
And it was so powerful. I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to know her, because she is just so amazing. Like, oh my gosh, I just saw you in your element doing your work, and everybody was just all engaged. And it was just like, oh my God, this is what we need. This is what is missing in the world right here. Like, oh,
Mhm. This
so
is
ever
what's
since
missing in the
then,
Black
I've been like,
community. Yes. This is what's missing in the Black community, like more healing. And especially now at this time, it's so needed, you know. So Oracle Jim said, mine started with a very dark, toxic, dark relationship. I did end up in the hospital from supernatural occurrences. I had to have a blood transfusion. That was the beginning of my healing path. And so, like, there's so many different ways. Like, and oftentimes it's near death experiences, medical stuff that changes us. And even though I had those calling, and I have some questions for you, I'm going to start asking.
It's okay,
But
but
even though
yours
I
was
had,
the book, right?
huh?
Your call was the book. The book,
Yeah,
really?
so I was gonna, yeah.
Wow.
So I was
Okay.
gonna say, and yeah, and I was gonna even elaborate on that. So the initial of my call was the book,
Okay.
Eat, Pray, Love, Journey. Made me go out and do my Eat, Pray, Love journey. And then by the time, I did all this healing work, which wasn't in the book, it was just stuff that came onto my journey,
And,
because this was my path, what I needed to do.
mhm.
Then by the time when I moved to Brazil, um, I realized I had fibroids. And so connection here between the two of us, realized I had fibroids because I was like, the cycles were really bad. I was bleeding profusely every day. And my cycle lasted for 8 days. I was changing every 2 hours between a pad and a tampon. And then a friend of mine gave me Queen Afua's book, Sacred Woman. So then I started reading that book because at that time I'm like, I eat whatever. Like my family's from Haiti. We eat good, right? Um, and so
Yes.
when I saw that, it was like I gotta cut dairy out, and I love pizza, I love milk. I had to cut out dairy, white potatoes, meat, basically become kind of vegan, right? And
Yes, ma'am.
so, yes, hello Ken, thank you for joining. So basically, I had to become vegan because from reading the book "Sacred Woman" by Queen Afua, because it was like I had fibroids, and the doctor wanted to have surgery, right? And I'm like, I'm in Brazil, and I don't really speak the language that much, and they want to have surgery. And then a lot of people were like, well, here in Brazil or in general in the world, right? How they treat Black women. You go in, they do all of these research on you. They do a whole hysterectomy and take out your entire womb. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And so when the doctors was like, yeah, you need to have not a hysterectomy, you need to, remove the fibroids. I'm like, no, I'm going to do a natural route. And so for me, I decided to change my diet, exercise, and follow the stuff in the book. And then within 3 months, the symptoms went away. I went back, got tested again by the gynecologist. It was like, oh, the fibroid shrunk. Maybe the tests were wrong initially. I was like, no, they weren't wrong. I just did an alternative treatment.
Did the work.
And they're like, can't believe that. They can't see that. So diet is key. Diet is key when we're talking about healing ourselves, right? And changing, reversing things. I've reversed so many things. There's so many times when I've been told I need to have this surgery, and I'm like, I choose not to do that.
Yes, we have to do that. We have to not buy into the fear and all these scary things and start believing them. We have to believe the real thing that God has provided, the Most High has provided everything that we need in nature. And when we really tune into what's causing that ailment and really being able to let that go and put in enough nutrients to give our body the strength to do the repair is the real key. The density, the nutrient density. Like when I started doing research, the first thing I learned was this doctor in a book called Goodbye Lupus. She
Mm-hmm.
reversed her lupus by having 2 pounds of greens per day.
Oh
So
wow,
that's a
wow,
good idea of the density of nutrients that we need. And she wasn't
yeah.
eating things. She cut out. She was a vegetarian. She cut out eggs and cheese, and
Mm-hmm.
ended up working out. Did 2 pounds of greens a day, and it was gone in 3 months. So that was my
Right.
inspiration. So,
Wow. Okay, so I got a question for you.
hmm
Before I ask that question again, hello, those of you who are on here. If you are not following me, follow me on IG at Prandara_Prim_Tantra. Facebook is Renee Adolph, website www.prandaraprim. And follow Gingerbread on IG as well at Gingerbread Music. All right. And if you guys have any questions for us, please write your questions and comments in the chat. So, since we're kind of talking about food, and then I do want to go into music, and I know you said you have some questions for me too. But first question about food. How does what we eat, and we can both answer that, but I want you to go first. How does what we eat affect our spiritual journey and our ability to receive guidance?
Well, everything is divine, first and foremost. So, a lot of times we're out of tune with what the divine is doing when we're not consuming the divine food. So, just in my process of becoming raw, so after becoming Sacred Woman and going to some events, I was able to try some raw food and just to show the benefits of changing it. Because my issue was okay, and what I'm overcoming is before I used to eat everything. I was a late night eater. I'd eat, go to sleep, pizza, cheese, drinking, everything. I just living the life, eating it up, eat and
Hmm.
go to sleep. That was my thing. So realizing I had to change all this stuff, I was not interested in a vegan diet. I was like kind of really like, oh, but my life was at risk. So that's what it took for me to take it serious. Otherwise, I would have just been, playing or whatever. So that diagnosis scared me straight. And then after going through Queen of Fua, getting the knowledge, taking the time, practicing, eating better, feeling better, I found a raw food chef. Her name is Sandra Lee, and she's a Sacred Woman too. But I tried her food. It was raw vegan, and it was so delicious. So I was like, it pulled me in my calling. Like, oh my God, it could be this good. It could be this delicious. Like, oh, I'm all in. So when I got certified as a raw food chef by her, and I went raw for 3 days, the first 3 days, that's when I realized the power of what we're eating. I was so numb. I didn't even know I was sick when I had lupus.
Hmm.
I was at work every day. I never called out sick. So I became stoic and out of tune with my body. I wasn't feeling. I was just doing what I had to do. So when I started eating raw the third day, I felt superhuman. That's when I was
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh, my eyesight got clear. Like I could see
Yeah.
really good. I'm like, whoa, I feel like I can see everything. I felt like I
Wow.
could hear really good, like crispy, like just great sound. Like I can pick up on everything. And I felt so much gratitude and just inner joy and happiness that was just like, where is this coming from? I'm so
Hmm.
happy. I feel so good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's prime example right there. But it took me to do 3 days raw to get there,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
to really be a believer and really be like, oh my gosh, this is life changing. That's why I recommend retreats because they kind of pull you out, put you into the experience, and you can just experience this, and it becomes you where you're like, oh no, I need this.
Yeah. And so I love everything you just said. Let me just add on, just just some more things because I agree with everything. Um, Adding on to what you're piggybacking, I should say, piggyback to what you're saying is it's so important because when you're eating other stuff like a lot of meat, greasy food, fried food, you're not open to receive divine messages, right? And so when you start fasting, which I do, I've been doing a lot lately. I've been fasting 2 days, not eating, just drinking water,
Nice.
um, and then eating more vegan, vegetarian food. I did order some food from Gingerbread. She did do some meal prep for me too. I love to cook myself, and I do a great job. But sometimes I'm tired, and I'm like, I just want to have the food here for me, and just take it to work and just eat, right? But when we're eating and drinking a lot of alcohol, doing drugs, all of those things, everything that we're consuming, whether it's, unhealthy food, fatty food, processed food, putting in a lot of fluoride in our body, it calcifies and it just blocks the pineal gland. So we're not able to be as intuitive, and we're all intuitive, but we're putting all this crap in our bodies that we're not open to hear the messages. We're not open to hear the guidances. So it's important to have a clean diet, you know. Now, does that mean that everybody has to go vegan? I'm not one of those people that feel like, in my personal opinion, everyone needs to be a vegan. And I'm not a vegan, but I am more plant based, meaning I eat more plant based foods, but I will tear up some meat. Like I'm here in Brazil. I just ate me some pastels, what they call it, like empanadas of shrimp and fish. And um, I'll eat more fish, than meat. But I did have some meat. Saturday I went to what's called a feijoada on Sunday, and the feijoada has like beef and pork, and I don't really eat that. But I feel like in moderation, in my opinion, it's okay.
Yeah,
But
it's your
is the
relationship with your body.
with my body, I'm setting my intention, and I connect with the food. I'm like, hey, I don't normally eat this, but I'm eating this because I'm here in this environment. This is what everyone's doing. Please continue to nourish and heal my body, right? And so that's what I do. And so, when you look at many different traditions, even even if you look at Christianity, in the church, they fast and pray. They go through their certain times of the year. They're fasting and they're praying, right? You go to shamanic traditions, tantric traditions. We fast and we meditate. And so it's about cleansing our body so that we can be more connected and lighter, like you were saying, and
Mhm.
feeling good. So let me see. Has
Definitely.
anyone asked any questions? I see more people coming on. Say hello. Ginger is in Atlanta. Yes, and Carolyn is in Atlanta too. Yes, yes, yes. So those of you, speaking of Atlanta, on Saturday, February 8th at 3 p.m., I will be having my Peaceful Sips cacao ceremony in Atlanta, in Buckhead. Come on through. This is going to be about bringing peace to you, peace to your mind, because there's just so much going on. I'm going to do a lot of rituals where we're going to really open up that heart space. We're going to connect to that love, have a good emotional release, and build community. So if you are in the ATL, February 8th, send me a message. You can register at my website, www.pandaraprim.com. And Carolyn, I hope to see you there as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I had my first cacao ceremony with you, and it was so delicious. And that's a food that helps us open our heart and help
yes.
us to really connect. So y'all make sure you check it out if you have not had the opportunity.
Okay, yes. Greetings, Rhonda from Atlanta. Come through, girl. Come through. Come through to my peaceful sips. And thank you for that. People have been loving my cacao ceremonies. So thank you for that testimony,
Yeah, it was
Ginger.
great.
Let's answer this question. So, Alexis, hi, Alexis. Welcome. She says, where's a good place to start for someone who feels addicted to unhealthy foods?
Finding the healthy foods that you do like and incorporating those daily. Berries and grapes are phenomenal. Hydrating fruits is the most phenomenal place to start adding the healthy stuff, adding sea moss, adding the supplements, and taking time with each one to see how they make your body feel. Just buy 2 pints of strawberries and just eat a bunch of strawberries for like a meal and just see how that makes you feel. Build relationship with each thing,
Mhm.
and just start stacking what you like, and start slowly removing the things that aren't serving you.
Mhm. And so let me ask you, Alexis, what are the unhealthy foods that you're feeling addicted to? And then, so me coming from a therapeutic background, there's a reason that there's an addiction to unhealthy food. So we got to look at what is that serving? Like what type of emotional thing is going on where you're feeling like you need a support system, right? Or an escape. So oftentimes there's people who might use drugs or alcohol or sex or unhealthy food as an escape mechanism. So going back and looking at one, what are the unhealthy foods? So there's a reason why you're having those cravings, right? And then two, what's the emotional piece? Like what are you getting from it? When you eat those unhealthy foods, what happens in your body? And then we start to look at, okay, this is what I'm feeling in my body. This is what happens. Now, how can I replace that with something else that's healthier? It may not be, it could be food like what Ginger says, or it could be something else. Maybe I need to yell and scream. Maybe I need to
Mm.
shake. Maybe I need to go and run to get that same feeling to help me with whatever I'm escaping. Or maybe I need to look in the mirror and face what's going on inside of me. So that's,
Ashe, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Very
thank
brilliant.
you. Thank you. So that's what I say. But go ahead and share. Alexis, what you think is what are some of the unhealthy, just to go deeper into that. Carolyn Renee says, I make vegan soul food. I need to learn more raw. Me too. I don't make vegan soul food. I make some good vegan food, but I haven't done soul food because I'm not really a big, I'm not, my family's from Haiti. So it's the Caribbean. I do the Caribbean versions of stuff.
Okay.
So I probably need to learn vegan soul food and raw food. Um, Ginger makes some good one. I see more folks coming on. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So Tori says real quick, I don't see where to register for the cacao ceremony on your website. So when you go to my website, go to the services. Under services, you will see self love Valentine's Day special, and then right under that is, if you scroll down, peaceful sip, a cacao journey. So it's right there. Um, so yes, let me know if you see it, hon. It's so go to www.pandaraprim.com. Go to services. You know what? Let me put that link directly right here, and then that'll make it easier. All right, so that's it. You're gonna go to www.pandaraprim.com/service, and you can register for the cacao ceremony. All right, so we had another question here. Oops, let's see. So Ken asked, "What are the common mistakes people make while fasting?" You're welcome, hon. All right, you want to
Honestly,
go first with that?
I mean, for me, honestly, just in my own experience, just the ease in and the ease out, just being able to ease in with liquids, juices, things like that, being able to. Sometimes we just get like, so caught up in the pressure of the fast that we just go and eat something totally irresponsible, maybe something not healthy. And when we do it in the process of fasting, it can make you sick. It can really disrupt your bowels. It can do a lot of terrible things. I did like what is that? The master cleanse, and I
Mm-mm.
got so weak, like on my 6th day, and went and ate potatoes, but potatoes were too rough to kind of like start. I should have eased in with broth or something, green juice, something, tea, things like that. Hydrating first, making sure you're having enough liquids before you add the foods, starting with a soup or something hydrating. But no, I ate potatoes and my stomach just cramped up in the most painful, just excruciating way. So that's a common mistake when we can't control ourselves, and we do
Yeah.
things like that. How about you?
Yeah, so common mistakes that I've seen is people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a fast, so let me eat everything right now." So the day before, they're
Mm,
like, "Let me eat all this stuff because I'm about to fast." So and then they fast, and they're like, "Oh, let me eat all this stuff because I've been fasting." You got to prepare your body for the fast, and
yeah,
after you're done fasting, you have to ease back into eating. So generally,
yeah.
speaking, before doing a fast, I'm eating raw. I'm eating soups. I'm eating fruits and vegetables, and then um, for example, I'll do a 3 day fruit fast and then 3 days water and then 3 days fruits. Now that's a little bit longer. So if I'm doing that a day or two before the fruits, I'm eating like I'm making my way in. I'm not eating a bunch of junk food and all that stuff. And even after, I'm not eating a bunch of junk food. So it's being
Okay.
conscious of what you're eating before you start the fast and after the fast to make sure you're not just like, okay, I did the fast, now I can go back to what I'm eating, right?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
one of the things when I started doing, these, I see more people coming on. I'm excited. Say hi, y'all. Hey. Um,
Peace and love.
when I started doing this, it started actually helping me to actually eat more vegetables, and I like it. Oh, Carolyn got her cacao ticket. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Woo-hoo. I'll see you on the 8th. And Tori got it too. I see you, Tori. I assume you got it. You said you see it. Um, so that's what I would say. And the other thing that you said that I really loved is drinking water, right? Like
Mhm.
making sure that you're hydrated. And
Mhm.
so for me, sometimes, when I first started, like I would get them headaches and I would get hangry. And what I found was Coconut water really helped me with that. So coconut
Mm-hmm.
water helps to prevent the headaches and it helps me to keep going strong.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's one of the things that I would say. All right,
Yes.
so Alexis said, food is definitely an escape. I have a lot of repressed emotions. So working through those emotions, right? Dairy, coffee, and beef have been particularly hard to let go for me. Let me tell you, bacon was the hardest for me to let go of, girl. Bacon was the hardest because I love me some bacon. And to Ginger's point, I had to change my breakfast, right? So because, ooh, Angie P got her ticket too for the cacao
Okay.
ceremony. So guys, I will see. Please send me a DM because I will have to send you. I think I'll have your email when you registered. I'll have your email, but I'll send you the location. Um, once I'm, so because I'll send everybody the location to where it's going to be. Um, what was I saying? What was I saying? I got
So,
so excited.
you were talking about when you were fasting. You said you would ease
Oh, the
in.
coconut water.
Oh
I
yeah.
would drink. I would drink the coconut water to help me with getting the headaches and things like that. And then one of the things I started doing, I started switch. Oh yeah, the bacon. That's what I said. Because
Oh yeah.
Angie
Yeah.
B
My
said
fault.
you love bacon. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's what
My
it
fault.
was.
The bacon. I kind of.
Um, All right. Yeah. So bacon was my difficult thing to get rid of. So yes, thank you, Carolyn, as well. Change breakfast. So I had to change my breakfast because I was like, if I'm eating breakfast and I'm going to eat eggs, I got to eat eggs with bacon, right? Like that's just the two of those together. And
Yeah.
so I stopped eating eggs. I stopped eating bacon, and then ultimately I started doing the intermittent fasting. And so when I
Mm.
did the intermittent fasting, I started eating between 1 and 7.
Okay.
And although I can eat breakfast any time of the day because I love me some breakfast, at 1 o'clock I tend to start making like a soup or a smoothie. I would wake up, I would do my ginger shot, ginger, turmeric, garlic, lemon shot. Then I
Definitely.
would make a smoothie, and then from there I'd eat a lunch, right? Like try to get a whole well balanced lunch, and then I honestly never didn't even need to eat dinner again because your body, the less you eat, your stomach shrinks, and the less you want to eat.
And the more nutrient dense you eat, if you're eating a lot of nutrients, the less you need to eat or want to eat too. Because we
And
eat a
that's
lot of
true.
junk because it doesn't satisfy our nutrients.
Exactly. So I think that makes so much sense. And so I realized I've been eating that one meal and it's been nutrient dense, like all like the vegetables, the protein in terms of chickpeas, lentils, because I love those, black eyed peas or whatever, in the greens and different stuff. I'm not getting hungry again. And so at night I'm doing a tea, in the evening time I'm doing a tea or whatever, and I'm fine. And so, and then I realized when I ate late and I'm eating junk food, I wake up in the morning at 8 a.m. and I'm starving, and I'm like, oh my God. But when I'm doing well and I'm eating healthy, my last meal might be at 5, 6 p.m. And I wake up the next day, I'm not hungry. Like I'm good.
Yes.
Oh, Carolyn says I have vegan bacon. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
lot of creative ways to make that too. Banana
Yes,
peels, carrots.
I have a cousin who lives in Atlanta, Mama's Vegan Cuisine.
Mm.
Really, really good food as well. She uses jackfruit and she makes this like jackfruit like tacos. She makes oxtails with the jackfruit,
Mm-hmm.
um, ribs. I was like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So people be getting creative. There's all kinds of stuff. Like people think when you're vegan, you can't eat good.
Yeah.
You
No.
can eat really well.
It's really delicious. And if you
Yeah.
want some assistance with the raw vegan world, I do have a 1 day raw challenge, but you
Oh
will have
yeah.
to go to my IG and click the link in the bio to see it and access it. The link's kind of long, so we can't really put it on here, but it's in the link in my Instagram if you want to check that out. But it's just to help make it easy. And I encourage people, and I preach to at least go raw one day a week to start, just easing,
Hmm.
picking your raw day a week. That's a good way to ease in and just start making it fun. I know vegan is one direction, but it's so much deeper than like slutty vegan and the French
Yeah.
fries and the soul food. I mean, just giving yourself the 3 days raw. So once
Yeah.
you can get good at one, work your way up to 3 days raw, and you'll just start like bionics on. Like that's how.
Hmm. Yes. I don't know how it will be happening.
I
I've
don't
been
know either, but that was
meaning
crazy.
that was it is like you said bionics on, and the next thing you know is like
I'm telling
fireworks.
you, look, I'm plugged in. I don't know, but it's
That's so
amazing. I'm
funny.
with it.
Yes. So that's her IG, Gingerbread Music. I did put the long link in the comments because I don't know if you could copy and paste as well. So that is in the comments, but this is her IG, so you can go there as well. Um, oops. Yeah. So awesome, awesome, awesome sauce.
But
Okay,
that was good
so
what you said. I do want to confirm that when we start in the rising, we want to always just have this routine of the lemon, ginger, turmeric, some sort of lemon, lime, really lime, because they say lemon is a hybrid. So lime,
yeah, I do
warm
lime.
water,
Hmm.
some cayenne pepper. Take your shot, and
Yeah.
then your tea, then your coconut water, then your smoothie. If you could just start the rising like that with those
Yeah.
three and just start like that and then do your thing, you're doing yourself a justice just doing that much. So
Yeah.
step by
So
step.
true. So that's another thing I want to touch on is one of the things I learned recently because I was saying I also drink a lot of coconut water, and that's really good for you. Now, there's also another benefit to fasting is to go into autophagy. Autophagy, and I'm going to write this down so you can write it down.
Oh, peace and love, peace and love. I'm not sure. Can you guys hear me? I don't know what's going on. Let's see. I have no idea if you guys can see me or hear me or not. Oh, wow. I think I'm live. Okay, guys, I don't know what happened, but I'm sure Dr. Prem is going to get it figured out and we are going to get it going. But again, my name is Gingerbread. I'm here. I don't know what just happened. I don't know if it cut off, if she's coming back, but oh, here we
Oh,
go.
dear.
Oh, okay. There we
Okay.
go.
Oh, good. Okay, so I was starting to say about autophagy.
There we go.
Um, good. I'm glad you guys just stayed on. So, yeah. All right. So, autophagy, when you fast for like 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, your body begins to go on autophagy, but that's only if you do the fasting correctly. Now, what's the benefit? You guys can Google, look up autophagy. It's really good to heal cancer cells, boost your immune system. So people that are really doing work on healing, they want to do autophagy. Now, so if that's the goal of doing autophagy, one of the things you can't drink is coconut water, unfortunately. If you're doing a fasting for other purposes, like healing your body, like just cleansing and stuff like that, coconut water is great. But to go into autophagy, it actually stops it um, because of the sugar that's in it. So you would have to just drink like herbal tea. They actually do say you can drink caffeine, like I mean not caffeine, coffee, and that won't prevent you from going to autophagy, which is interesting. So yeah. Okay, I see more people coming on. Say hello. Oh, I see Joe Lawrence. Hello. Um, who else is on here? Say hi. So I want to ask a question about music. And then I know Ginger, you had some questions for me too.
Hmm.
But let's go to music. If you guys still have questions about food, go ahead and ask. If you have questions about music too, whatever.
Hmm.
Okay, so I want to ask, how does music influence our energy, emotions, and spiritual state?
Well, music is the highest way to deeply connect us to vibration and frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So music is like the most highest vibrational way to send a message.
Mm-hmm.
It directly influences our emotional state and energetic field. And then harmonious sounds have certain, and sacred tones especially have certain healing abilities in the body. So, and then the opposite of sacred has the opposite effect on the body as well. So, it brings up emotions, it helps move blockages. The vibrations and the sounds of music is very, very powerful, very powerful. It sticks with us forever. That's why we know songs from childhood that are nostalgic and can transport us right to certain memories of times in our lives and things like that. So we can utilize music to reverse a lot of things that we have created.
Right. So yeah, definitely. Like you're saying, so this the sound is, sound has healing, it has different frequencies, different vibrations. So it's important. There's different sounds like mantras, seed mantras that like that when you chant those mantras, they activate and balance your chakras. So there's so many different things. There's a
Hmm.
frequency that can help take you to a higher level. And so like for me, going to sleep, I listen to sleep frequencies at night. Unless I'm
Yes.
here in Salvador, I just leave my window open and listen to the
Ooh.
sound of the waves crashing against
Yes.
the shore. I love it. One of the things I love about Brazil. Um, then so I try to listen to different things.
Yes.
um Sound different, like classical music, it helps you to study and to learn more. So there's so many different things that you can use doing healing work, based on what I want to achieve with my clients or within my workshops, within my groups, my ceremonies. I choose the music based on the emotion that I want, the healing that I want. And I'll tell you, music is like 100, like 100%. I was gonna say like maybe not 100%, but probably a good 80% of the work, a good 80%. You know, if you put the wrong music on, things will
Yes.
just be different. So, but you also have to be in a place to connect, to know what music you need to play. Like if you're doing a workshop. So, my last cacao ceremony, Carolyn was there. It was so funny. No one would realize this but me, right? But I had in my mind this whole thing that I was gonna do, and something was like, "Now you got to change the music because right now this is not the music that's needed." And I changed the music. Ended up having us twerk and shake, but that's what was needed,
Yeah.
right? And other times I'll play stuff because where people are crying and screaming, right? Because that's what's needed, and that's what goes back to eating the right food, meditating, being present so that you can be connected and be able to hear messages as to what you need to do in
Yes.
whatever part of your life, whether it's, in every part of your life, not with
True.
just me working and doing workshops, but everything that you need to do, whether you should take this job or not, whether you should go to this place and travel to the specific place, whether you should hang out with this person or not. Like when you're grounded and you're present and you're connected, you're able to hear the messages of your guides, your God, your ancestors, whoever it is you have your connection with.
Yes, yes. And to elaborate, solfeggio, like the 528 hertz frequencies, these frequencies specifically induce healing. And
Hmm.
then the binaural beats more so influence the brain waves and the thinking patterns and, the thought processes of things. And then the tuning forks and the gongs and
Yeah.
those healing tools, those are more so for spiritual purposes, for initiation and ceremony and ritual and things like that.
Yes. So
Yeah.
Joe Lawrence says, thanks for the info on the coconut water being not good for specifically autophagy, but it's good for a lot of other stuff. You mentioned drinking tea. What kind of tea? Herbs should we drinking? So I would say tea without caffeine, so caffeine-free tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but research do look up autophagy on YouTube, and there's some really great um, articles. There's really great discussions on there. Um, but when I do tea specifically, I'm doing more like I'll do garlic as well, garlic, ginger. I'll make that as a tea if I'm not doing it as a shot. Um, because it's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial.
Yeah.
Um,
I
that's
can recommend some.
Go
So
ahead.
if you have blood sugar issues, I would go with hibiscus
Oh
tea.
yeah, hibiscus. Uh-huh.
Hibiscus is really great tea for blood sugar balancing. You can sweeten it with agave. I
Yeah,
like
but
to add lime and ginger.
if you're trying to do autophagy, you don't want to
Oh
sweeten
well,
it.
not autophagy. Okay, my fault.
Yeah,
We're talking about autophagy. So no, for that, don't
yeah,
sweeten. Just drink it plain. Another
yeah,
one, burdock root, is amazing for the blood. It helps cleanse the
mhm,
blood really
yeah,
well. And just basic, even green tea for me. I know that has caffeine though. I think you can do a caffeine free version, but green tea is a good antioxidant just to like cleanse and
yeah.
start with. But then there's so many herbs. What I would say is go on a journey with different herbs and do research on different herbal teas, and then just start with like two or three at a time.
So me particularly in general, I go to the health food store and I get all of these different herbs. So based on what I need, and there's a really good book by Cameron Rose called Spiritual Herbalism. Great information on many different herbs. Now, if when you're fasting, I wouldn't go into all of those different herbs, right? Because then that's too much going on. So I would stick to like just drinking water and maybe like one type of herbal tea. Um, you know, just one, like one that you feel like you need, and not do so many different ones. If you're trying to cleanse out your blood, do the burdock root, like she said. If you're just trying to, you have high sugar levels, you can do the hibiscus. But also while you're fasting, is that's going to also regulate your sugar levels. So,
That's true.
hey Phil, he's so crazy. So, um, so that's oops, Ginger, I'm losing you. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so but read up because there's so much to talk about. Like if we go into autophagy, like that can be a whole nother thing. Um, all right, let me see. Did you go ahead? You want to ask a question?
So I noticed in your when I first saw you in action that it seemed like everyone was kind of laying out. Oh, and if you want to see, because I do have it in, if you go to my link in my bio in Instagram, you'll see the music video is, I think, the first link, and you are there's clips from the retreat actually in there if you all want to see like the experience. But I noticed everyone was kind of laying down and kind of tranced out and kind of like in a trance. I don't think I've fully gotten into that trance state yet. And after I went through a few sessions of healing and energy healing, I'm still removing layers of the stoicism of just like what I got to do, facing got to go to work, and I notice in the work you do, it's more um it's more, you got to be more sensitive to
Mm-hmm.
um like spirit and what you feel energetically. So for someone who's like just tough, working all the time, kind of not in the feeling, they can't really feel, they don't really go into the trance all the way initially, what would you recommend to them to help them kind of remove the veil and get more connected into the healing work?
Go into your body.
Go inside. Okay.
Go inside. And don't let go of any expectations. Let
Okay.
go. I got to get into this trance. Surrender. Allow yourself to just be.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, and that's a great question because so many of us, myself included, we're doing a lot, working a lot, on the run, on the go. Look, I'm in Brazil right now. I'm literally going to get back to the States and do a cacao ceremony on the 8th, right? Like I'm getting back on the go. But as you're doing all of this stuff, it's being centered, being grounded. You can be busy, 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 and breathe. Take some breaths in between everything, right? To get yourself grounded. Do some box breathing. Breathe in for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, and then repeat. Do that a few times. Or you can set your timer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to kind of get yourself in your body, noticing what you're feeling. What am I feeling in my body? What's happening in my body?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Feeling. And then when you feel things and you notice them, what do you do with it?
Feel it. Just be.
Oh, just
Yeah,
feel. Okay.
just feel it. Just be. Um, what do you want to do with it? When you're just present and you're with it, maybe something will be like, okay, now dance. Dance
Oh,
is
so
what I'm
you
feeling.
listen to your intuition and kind of like build that relationship with your feeling inside and what your intuition's guiding you to do for it.
Yes.
Okay, I feel that. I feel that.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you
Yeah.
get in tantra and you're starting the breathing and you see women go into spirit, you see women release things. I've been having so many releases lately too, just by
Mhm.
being just aware of this tantra world,
Yes.
and I share it with friends and they're like, huh? They're like, what? But I feel like that's the next stage. I feel like I was called into the food. That's my mesh connect, like my spiritual calling. I feel like we all have a spiritual call that
Yes.
spirit is working on getting us to hear and answer and start working towards. So the food was mine, but the food led me to you
Hmm.
and doing retreats and other people. So I feel like once I met you, I was so intrigued by tantra. Like I'm like, that's my next, you know
Yes.
my next lane of life, because it's like really feeling life versus like just like just being
Mhm.
here, you know
Yeah. Just like going through the emotions, just going through
yeah.
the emotions of life. Now you're like truly present in life.
Yes, awakening to it, but still needing to do the work with you and, doing, the exercises, knowing what that is, building that relationship. But I did want to ask you, when you're seeing, I got kind of drifted off the point, but when you seeing this and women are going through these things, like how do you know, is it just practice, like the years of being in the tantra living training facilities, where you just started to witness other experiences of how to handle things spiritually, because people have different reactions,
Oh
right?
yeah, people have different. Yeah, so it's just experience.
Okay.
Girl, I
You
done
just
saw and
intuition.
intuition. I done seen
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Um, and it's crazy. It's interesting because when you ask me this question now, not being in a moment, I'm like, I don't know what I would do. Like obviously, because there's so many different examples and so many things that could happen. But in the
Yes,
moment,
it comes to
it's
you.
like it comes and it's
Yeah.
trust, and so yeah, some of it is I've seen what other people have done in situations, but it might be what looks like to be a similar situation, but in that moment I might feel like, okay, I got to do something different, you
Makes sense.
know
Yeah,
so
so
it's
that intuition,
and
yeah.
again, that's being in your body, that's being present, and that's allowing yourself to surrender so you can go with the flow and feel. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I was saying. Like with my last cacao ceremony, I actually had in my mind, I had planned out what I was going to do. And I know this is a little different than in terms of, what your question was, but I had to change directions of what I was going to do and do something different. Because
Mm-hmm.
in the moment, it was like, this is not what's needed. There's something else that's needed.
Yes.
So that really comes from you doing your work,
Right.
being in your body, feeling, being present. When you're present, you feel the moment. And at that retreat, people told me, people said, oh my God, I've drank cacao before, but it wasn't as powerful. And
Yes.
it's because when I'm making it, I'm also putting in my energy, my intention, And I'm being present, I'm holding that space,
That was a message
you
from my
know.
heart right there. Thank you. Cause
Oh, you're
sometimes
welcome.
we think we're doing things in vain sometimes, and it's like, no, when we put our intentions, our love, and our pure hearts into it, it is golden. It's golden.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and even when you gave me the meal and you put the little feather in there, may you be, and you said, may you be light as a feather, whatever. I was like, oh my God. It was so cool. Like you can tell you made the food with intention, you made it with love, and that's a beautiful thing, you
It,
know?
yes, and it
Yeah,
translates very well. It really does.
it
Yeah,
does. It does. So, all right. So we've talked about a lot of stuff.
we
I got way
did.
more questions, but we're not gonna go through those questions. So,
Yeah,
but it was really good. Like, so we talked a lot about just like the foods. It's really important to like really look at like what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. Okay, so hearing the spiritual call. First of all, let's go back to that and summarize real quick.
okay.
So, so a lot of people said they got the spiritual call from getting sick, like you said about the lupus. Someone had to get a blood transfusion. My first call was from reading the book Eat, Pray, Love. And so many times we might get more than one calling, right? And so then it comes to, um, okay, now I went to this workshop. Now I'm interested in Tantra. So you got your first call was the lupus. Your second one might have been going to the
Sacred woman.
workshop, the retreat, right? Or the Queen of Fua book.
Yeah.
You know, so oftentimes it's also for us to go deeper. So we're going to have so many different callings. And I know oftentimes I felt, okay, I'm doing what my ancestors want, but then my ancestors come kicking my butt. And I'm like, well, what more do y'all want from me? I thought I was doing what y'all want.
Right.
No, more. They want more. And I'm like, more? What else?
I
And
know.
so the different things happen to take you down even deeper or to learn different things. So it's so interesting. And when you feel the calling, it's about listening without fear, trusting yourself, and doing. And then making modifications within your diet, like looking at what you're eating, being conscious of what you're putting into your body, the amount of water you're drinking. This is water that I put in a wine glass. So it was water. But this makes it feel like really good. Like I'm like,
Fancy water.
you're
Yes,
right.
that's
Thank you.
energetic too. That's energetic too. The glass you drink out of. I mean, although it is.
Yes. Yes. So I do try not to drink out of plastic and stuff like that.
I
And
know. Help me get off this road so I can stop.
right. So yeah, so being conscious, fasting, meditating,
Yeah.
journaling,
Yes.
being conscious. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that, but journaling, being conscious of the music that you're listening to, the sounds, and just immersing yourself in just healing energy.
Yes, yes. And we did touch on everything. So that was a great summary because I have the same summary. What we're
Oh, wow.
putting in, what we're
Mhm.
putting in, then the purification, that's the detoxing, the cleansing. We said
Mhm.
that. Getting the high vibrational foods, and the vibrational foods go from leafy greens, fruits, berries to cacao, opening the heart. Then
Yes.
even herbs like sage and lavender to help purify, then ashwagandha and holy basil to help with spiritual growth. And
Mhm.
then just to do a quick summary, music, what we're listening to, also who we're listening to. Are you listening
Yeah.
to fearful people, people full of fear, people full of doom and gloom? Or are you listening to people with hope and positive, inspirational energy that is, helping you to keep the right
Mhm.
mindset? Unblocking energy, doing sound healing to unblock and move to get things
Yeah.
moving, dancing, movement. Well, really the healing modalities in general, like
Yeah.
Reiki, acupuncture, chakra balancing, and just exploring healing modalities. So I'm
Yeah.
actually on a book for 101 healing modalities that we all should be doing
Okay.
every month. So
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. Oh, and then connecting with the ancestors. You did mention that briefly, but that's another one that we kind of miss.
and I have that on here too. I have
Oh,
that on here too.
cool.
So it's so funny. I was gonna. So one of my questions, and it depends on your time if you want to go a little bit more.
I
One of
mean,
the
I'm cool.
questions I have. Okay, how can we connect with our ancestors for guidance and protection on our spiritual journey? And then another question I have: what are some foods that help raise our vibration and support a deeper connection to spirit? So we could do that real quick because we didn't say what type of foods. Well, we did kind of talk
No,
about what foods,
cacao.
but we could go deeper into that
Okay.
real quick. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
cacao.
yeah, cacao's the heart opener. That's one that connects us with our spiritual self. And I also said lavender and
Oh yeah, we did.
yeah, lavender and what's that other one?
Yes, talk to your water too. Lavender. What else?
Oh, lavender and sage.
Oh,
Sage.
uh-huh.
They're very, very good for purifying, but then ashwagandha and holy basil are great for spiritual growth.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And honestly, so it's so funny. I went to see my mentor, who's an iridologist today, and we were talking about mushrooms and how mushrooms are just really good and healthy, really good to prevent cancer. And she
Mm,
was saying best to buy it in the powdered form
mm,
or in the pieces that you can eat, cook, or take, but not in a capsule.
mm.
And not that the capsule like anything's wrong, but she said something and I forgot what she said. So there's still a process when they're putting it into the capsule. So there's other stuff that's added into it, obviously to preserve the capsule and different things. So the
Mm-hmm.
healing effects are not as like
Effect.
powerful,
Yeah.
effective. So it's also thinking about that because oftentimes now they're putting everything in a capsule, like the ashwagandha, you got capsules. But if you can get the ashwagandha and make it as a tea, that's even better, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because everything is now, oh, we don't have a lot of time, it's so quick. So let me just take this as a pill form, right? And then it's also talking to your body. And this is one of the things that she said, almost as if this is like a supplement now, like as opposed to part of your health routine. She said something to that effect. I don't quite remember, but so in your mind, you have to start thinking, oh, I'm sick, so I'm having to take a pill, right? Because there's these associations with different
Yeah,
things.
it's true.
Um, so it's interesting when you look at these different sides to these different things. Ah, you're welcome. Thank you. And you stayed on this long. It's been an hour. Wow. Yeah, normally I'm not on. It's actually been over an hour. So, um, but this
Guys,
is a great conversation. So,
yes.
yeah. So we did touch on that. So that's good. And then, yeah, so just those things, talking to your food. You can also send energy to your food, whether you work with energy or not. We all can do it. So you can
Yes.
just visualize in your mind, as I'm eating this food, this is going to be food that's going to heal me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, whatever it is you want to say, having your hands over it before you eat in your water. And Carolyn said, talk to your water. I've seen
Yes.
people who have the jars, the
Mm-hmm.
water, and they write on it love, healing, all kinds of stuff. So that vibration could go into the water. And so that's
Yes.
true. And one of the things you can do this test on your own. You can take a glass of water and have it sitting on your counter. Every day, talk negative things to the water and start to watch what's going to happen to the water. Take another cup of water, talk positive things into the water, and begin to look at the difference. This is research that's happened. So when you're talking and you're putting that energy into the water, you're going to now be drinking this that's going to heal you. So do that research and see what happens. Take a
Yeah.
picture of the water too, the one that you've been talking negative to, and
Yeah, it's
see what
Dr.
happens.
Emoto. Dr. Emoto experiment, water experiment. If you don't know, you
Yeah.
can Google that. Yeah.
Yes. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah. How can we connect with our ancestors for guidance and protection on our spiritual journey? So there's so many different ways. Through meditation, right? Doing plant medicine, hape. I do hape circles. Um,
Yeah.
ayahuasca. I just did ayahuasca here in Brazil. I just did campo also. I don't know if you can see it. My three
Oh, how
things.
was that?
Oh, girl, that's a whole nother story. That'll
Okay,
take a long
that's another
time. Yeah,
another live. Ah,
yeah, another
you should go
time.
live and talk about it. You gonna talk about it on your?
Oh, I am. I
Okay,
am. I am. I'm planning that now because I had already pre-planned these upcoming lives. So I'm gonna add another day on and talk about that. So
cool.
I did do a little talk about it. I did do a little live with just me, but I'm gonna do another live on YouTube. I did do a little one on Instagram, but I'm gonna do a YouTube one with some of the people that I did do this ceremony with, and we're gonna all kind of share. So, all
Thanks.
right. Did you want to share anything else? Because I'm 2 hours ahead, so it's 10,
No,
11.
I mean, I
I'll be
feel like
getting
we
ready to go to
covered
bed.
it. Give thanks and praise. I'm so grateful for the space. If anybody resonated, wants to connect with me on the 1 day raw challenge, just check me out on IG. I got the links. I got the music video. You can see a retreat in the music video of the experience that we kind of got. It was just so rich and so beautiful. And then we're gonna have a retreats and all kind of stuff coming up in the future. I'm just, building to get my food portion of things in a more solid space. So I'm kind of grinding right now, but appreciating just being able to tap in and share the knowledge, the information to connect and grow together. So I'm grateful for everyone. Safe travels to you, Queen, traveling
Thank
all over the world.
you.
And yeah, we're gonna definitely help a lot of people, so I can feel it, and I'm just so grateful that we're expanding, we're still tapped in and making it happen.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you for being my guest today, Gingerbread, on here on YouTube. I'm excited. I just started back my live because this was another calling. People kept saying, "When are you going to go back on your live? Your YouTube channel had such great information," and I just hadn't been doing it. So people kept asking me. I was like, "Okay, let me go ahead and get back on and do it."
Yeah, you gotta answer
Um,
the call, listen to your intuition, build that inner strength. No matter who's around you, no matter what people think, you have to be solid within and listen to that, because that's what the Most High is working on in each of us. And
yeah,
once we are all loyal to that, like, I mean, we are going to move mountains. We're going to just really change the whole dynamic of the planet with love and
yes.
beautiful energy. So, but yeah.
Thank you, Ashe. So Kendra said thank you. Angie said thank you. Loving this, yes. So if none of you guys are following me, go ahead and follow me on IG as well at Pandara Prim underscore Tantra, Facebook Renee Adolph, and my website www.pandaraprim. If you are in the Atlanta area, I do have Peaceful Sips cacao ceremony February 8th at 3 p.m. You can go to my website to register under services. I also have Valentine's Day special packages for women with yoni steam, yoni breathing, and womb meditation, or another package with yoni steam, womb meditation, and tantric massage, or you can get an all-inclusive experience. So that is also under my website www.pandaraprim.com that service. So that
Mm,
and the cacao peaceful sips are both under there for those of you who are in the Atlanta area. All right, so thank you guys for coming on. This was a really great. Thank you guys that participated, and even those who might be shy and didn't write anything, didn't say hello. I know you were here. So thank you guys so much. Love you guys, and we will see you next week.
yes, thank you. Bye. Love you all.
Bye. Peace. Do the heart, Ginger, so that
Okay.
hearts can come out. Let's see. Is the hearts coming out? Ah, maybe because I'm
No.
forced.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there
There
it
it is.
is. There
Yes.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.